Massachusetts State House in Boston in celebration and gratitude to mark the auspicious occasion of the 90th birthday of the great 14th Dalai Lama. This milestone celebration of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama holds immense significance not only for the Tibetan community, but also for the vast community of Buddhist followers and Tibetan supporters from all across the world.
Celebration of the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I've had the honor of meeting him many times over the years, and most recently a little bit over a year ago in Dharamsala, where I was given these Tibetan prayer beads that he blessed, that I wear all the time, especially when when Congress is in session. I'm told they're to help with my negativity. Sometimes they don't work, but he is always close to my thoughts.
Homage to His Holiness the great 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet, who embodies total selflessness, complete love, compassion, and wisdom, and for his visionary leadership and action that has put the Tibetan freedom movement in the international spotlight for the last more than 7 decades. May His Holiness live long and a healthy life. May his aspirations for Tibet and for humanity be swiftly fulfilled. May compassion and nonviolence guide our actions each day. And may Tibetans inside occupied Tibet and around the world soon be reunited in freedom and in dignity.
We are living in a time when the world seems unhinged. You know, too many wars, too much violence, too much repression. Our politics is too polarizing and too divided and too filled with hate. Human rights advocacy is on the back burner. In the United States, it has become unfashionable to worry about the poor and the vulnerable. And it has become all too common to feel helpless and hopeless. But as we gather today, I think of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. I think of his life, what he has endured, and his continued optimism and his continued commitment to love and to achieving a world that is better for all. And I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful at this moment. And so we may not be able to change the past, but we all can play a role in helping to influence the future. And I want a future that embodies the values and the love and the compassion and the commitment to peace that is represented by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So, Tashi Delay to everybody, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for welcoming me here today.
In an era marked by global tensions and conflict, His Holiness's approach to compassionate leadership offers a valuable framework for fostering peace and mutual understanding. His Holiness's advocacy for the middle way approach in resolving the long-standing Sino-Tibet conflict demonstrates a commitment to resolving complex disputes through mutually beneficial constructive dialogue and peaceful negotiations.
The Tibetan community in Western Massachusetts, at least from what I can see, always practices a year of compassion. I also want to thank the Tibetan community for reminding all of us about the value of celebrating diversity and cultural identity and persistence in doing so. Thank you so much for all of that you do for us. In addition to your activism, and really I have to say your polite activism, and your kind activism around combating authoritarian regimes. And we're going to have to take a page out of your playbook. So I appreciate you modeling that for us. And lastly, I want to say happy birthday to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, but I also want to remind us, or remind myself, that part of what he teaches us is that love and compassion are basic needs. And I'm looking forward to using that framework as we move forward with this legislative session. Thank you so much. Thank you for including me.
So it's a Massachusetts General Court resolution honoring the life and legacy of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Whereas His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama has dedicated his life to promoting peace, compassion, and universal responsibility, earning worldwide recognition as a tireless advocate for human rights, democracy, religious freedom, and environmental protection. And whereas to honor the life and legacy of the Dalai Lama, the Central Tibetan Administration and the global Tibetan community will observe his 90th birthday as a year of compassion from July 6, 2025 to July 5, 2026, through a series of cultural celebrations, exhibitions, public talks, conferences, highlighting his enduring contributions to humanity, compassion, and world peace. And whereas the Dalai Lama's fourth principle commitments have been a guiding force in promoting human values, nonviolence, interfaith harmony, and environmental stability, inspiring countless individuals around the world. And whereas in 1989, the Dalai Lama was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his steadfast commitment to nonviolence and dialogue and resolving conflicts, particularly in advocating for the rights and freedoms of the Tibetan people. And whereas in 2020, the United States Congress passed the Tibetan Policy and Support Act, making it official United States policy that the selection of Tibetan Buddhist leaders, including a future Dalai Lama, should be determined solely by the Tibetan Buddhist community. Now be it therefore resolved that the Massachusetts General Court hereby commends the life and legacy of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and further extends to him its gratitude for his pursuit of global peace. And be it further that a copy of these resolutions be transmitted forthwith by the Clerk of the Senate to His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, and the President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Citation for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. On behalf of the residents of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I am pleased to confer upon you this governor's citation in recognition of the 90th birthday of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. As the global community celebrates a year of compassion in his honor, we commend his ongoing teaching of karuna, compassion, a core value to cultivating peace and happiness. A fierce advocate for human rights and for the most vulnerable people, promoting forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, and self-discipline. His commitment to preserving the culture, language, and trust of the Tibetan people and the protection of Tibet's national environment. May he continue to uplift his community and be a symbol and leader of Tibetan identity and culture. We celebrate his health and happiness on this joyous occasion, the 6th day of July in the year 2025. Signed, Governor Maura T. Healy and Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll.
This tribute by the Massachusetts legislatures, Massachusetts people, is in due recognition of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's contribution to making this world a better place for each of us, including the people of Massachusetts. So this is something symbolic. Secondly, I believe that your tribute, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, also aligns with America's basic fundamental values of democracy, justice, human rights, and liberty. because of your tribute to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, not just today, but throughout the year, through all your initiatives, you are also recognizing His Holiness the Dalai Lama's peaceful approach at resolving not just the Tibetan issue, but also all conflicts in this world. We hope that as we have been able to do in Washington, D.C., where the Congress has bipartisan and bicameral support, as the Minister mentioned earlier, we hope that in states, at the state level, the state administration will also take initiatives to strengthen its support for your Tibetan American constituents in the state and throughout the country. Thank you so much again.
China is not Tibet, and Tibet is not China, and that is a good thing. And then I thought, resistance is joy. And the Tibetan community has shown us that through your cultural programs, through dance, through language, through the way you celebrate your culture and uplift it with such happiness. And that happiness is shared, I think, by everyone in this room today. And I was delighted to offer the resolution in the House to celebrate the 90th birthday of the Dalai Lama. Yes, you can applaud for 90th. Although I have heard the Dalai Lama plans on living for another 40 years, so we will have many more opportunities to celebrate. And I want you to know that we are very close to getting 90 signatures on that resolution. We will do that in honor of each of those 90 years. And one of the things that becomes very clear is the power of one person, the power of one individual to bring compassion and goodness and inspire others down that path. Certainly, that has been the life mission of the Dalai Lama. But I would go so far to say it is also the life mission of the Tibetan community represented in this room here today. So when we find ourselves worried about the future or concerned about what might be happening in the world, I invite you to remember that. One person can, in fact, make a tremendous difference, and that one person can be all of us. Thank you so much for letting me be here today. I am truly humbled and grateful.
Also owed to Massachusetts Senator Honorable Joe Comerford, Massachusetts Representative Honorable Mindy Domb, and Massachusetts Representative Honorable Lindsay Sabadosa for making this special event to celebrate His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday possible at the Massachusetts State House, and for your kind solidarity with the Tibetan cause and the Tibetan people.